Pull the mic down a little bit. Can you see me, babe? Good? All right. Make sure the camera's where it needs to be. Hello, everybody. Hello. All right. Welcome, my family. We are at Kaffeeklatsch episode 132. Can't believe we're at 132. It's amazing. Wow. Let's hope everybody can find us. 12 people have already found us, which is awesome. Let me just check the comments real quick. Good morning. Let's see. Lizzie Armstrong from Australia. Hello from down under. Nice. Paige. Hola. Chris is here. Anthony is here. Oh, good morning. How's the weather in Australia, Lizzie? 12 degrees below freezing. Yeah, Chris, keep that cold to yourself. Enid, hello. Yeah, I can't believe it's 132. It's amazing. I know. If you had told me when we started, Chris, that we'd be at episode 132, how many years later now? 5, 6 years later? Because we've been doing it for a while. I never would have believed you. 44 degrees in Northwest Florida. That doesn't sound like Florida weather. Audrey, good morning. Welcome. As always, I'm going to say good morning, and you're going to take that and interpret it to mean whatever time of the day it is where you are. How's that? I think Lizzie's another Aussie, right? Because Jeanette is an Aussie, right? What do we call Australians? Aussies? Aussies. So yeah, Lizzie, we have other Aussies here. Jeanette's an Aussie, and now you're an Aussie that's here joining us. Awesome. How did you hear about us, Lizzie? If I could ask. 102 degrees every day. Wow. It's like you're nearing Texas weather. That's just hot. Today it's been, let me sure my phone is off. Do all this stuff before I get started. Okay, it is. Today's weather is in New York City. Today's weather is 33 degrees. Feels like 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Ouch. Welcome, Connie. You're not late. We just started. Welcome. Okay. Hope everyone's doing well today. How's the sound? Are we okay? How's it looking over there? Are we sharp? Looking sharp? Thank you. Morning, Heather. Good morning. Welcome. All right. Let's get started. We're here. Let's start the shout outs and everything. So hello to everyone on YouTube. I've been on YouTube a lot lately because every day I do a CWW, Creative Warrior Wisdom. I almost called it another name. I'm not going to tell you what that name is. It's not rated for this show. So every morning, I try to make it every morning where I'll do the CWW, which is the Creative Warrior Wisdom. It's a short episode of a thought, a wisdom. I'm not that old. I have some wisdom, but not all that much wisdom. And I just try to share some thoughts with everyone, and uplift, inspiring thoughts that help us get through the day. So I try to do that to the best of my ability, and hopefully you guys like it. I've been doing it for a while now. I think today was episode 80. So it's not like the Kaffeeklatsch where it's every 2 weeks. So 132 episodes at every 2 weeks is a large amount, it's a huge block of time. Episode 80 is basically 80 days, maybe skipping weekends because I don't do the weekends, but Monday through Friday I'll do an episode. And they're short. They're like max 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes. So wow, Lizzie, it's 2:35. Thank you for staying way up into the middle of the night. So, and you just woke up. So, okay, this is the morning for you. Excellent. So the CWWs are just short. I was asking myself the other day, why do I do these? Because not today. Yesterday, oh my God, I woke up bleary-eyed, and I'm I'm asking, why am I doing this when I can barely open my eyes and function? Why? And I realize that it's mostly for me. I mean, I do it for you guys. I do it for people who watch it, but it's mostly for me. It's almost like me talking to me. And so it's kind of like these motivational videos that I watch. Some of them are really tough, like, you could do this. That's right. You got, and so it's basically like that without the grit and the grunting. So motivation in the morning to get you going. That's basically what they are. So that's the purpose of the CWW. I hope you guys are liking them. I know a lot of people are letting me know that they enjoy them. So I'll keep doing them. So that's we're on YouTube at Bitten Peaches Publishing. The CWW are also under the umbrella of Bitten Peaches Publishing because they're all under the same channel. Didn't want to split them, and on the advice of my technomancer, it was better not to. And so CWW is under the channel of Bitten Peaches Publishing. You can find us there. Just go to at Bitten Peaches Publishing on YouTube, and you'll find the Kaffeeklatsch, and you'll find the CWW there. If I create another offshoot channel, which I don't know when I would do it, but if I create another channel, it'll be under Bitten Peaches Publishing. Everything is under the Bitten Peaches channel. So I hope you guys visit, share, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, all the stuff. Here's the guys are just awesome. Here's a link to Bitten Peaches Publishing on YouTube. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah, you guys are quick. Wow, it's like gunslingers here. We're also on Instagram. I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna put stuff on Instagram right now. I've been putting up the exercise stuff, but I'm gonna hold off a little bit before I put up, because I've been in the middle of writing 2 projects. I'm writing Duskblader and I'm writing Saints and Monks, and so the Instagram stuff is pausing for a little bit, but I'm going to kind of see if I can block it and then just put a bunch, like schedule it. Can you schedule Instagram posts? You probably can. So if we could schedule the Instagram posts, I'll start scheduling them and just putting them up. I'll create a whole big bunch of them and then schedule them and they can go out piecemeal. We're also, I saw recently on Zazzle that we have some new swag. I haven't seen it yet, but I know that the designer was on there. She was kind of tinkering with stuff. So go to Zazzle, M&S, EMANDES. Do I have a link for Zazzle? I'm sure I do. And if you go there to Zazzle, you'll find whatever the newest swag is. I know we have new swag because I saw her in there kind of manipulating stuff. So here's our Zazzle link. And go there, use that link, use that reference number. It helps us because we could keep track of the algorithms and what's happening, and what's being picked up and so forth and so on. And see whatever the new thing is. I don't know what it is yet. I'm gonna go check it out. I'm a little wary about going into Zazzle only because once I'm in there, it's like me going into a bookstore. It's hard to leave without grabbing at least 4, 5, 10, 20 books. With Zazzle, it's hard to leave without having some swag. So I'm gonna be very careful about going in there. Maybe I'll just ask her what she created, and then she'll probably say, just go look at the store. And then I'm done. And then it's over. So go to Zazzle and go see what it is. Oh no, how could you need a new M&S cup. You cannot live without an M&S cup. I have a few, but they're so nice that I can't drink out of them, and they're too small. Hello, Suma. Welcome. Here's my M&S cup. This is my M&S cup currently. This is the triptych cup. This is an awesome cup. Check this cup out. This is like a Zazzle commercial. Do you need an M&S cup in your life? This one showcases art by Galen Dara. There you go. And has it in a triptych, which is the 3 images together. The word I had to learn for one of the books. Triptych. Awesome cup. I'm currently using it for pens and markers. Actually, Dolly is, because it's too small for my coffee needs, as you can see. Although I do have a bigger coffee cup, but it's too damn big. Where is the big? It's back there. I'll show you next Kaffeeklatsch the actual humongous coffee cup that one of my sons got me for my birthday. So yeah, get yourself a cup, get yourself a mug, get yourself a shirt, get yourself a hat. This shirt is not swag, but it's awesome. Let me take off this link. It's not swag, but the it's really cool. It's like the ingredients of a storyteller. So it's really awesome. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, we don't have any new patrons, but we have a bunch of veteran patrons that are fantastic. So I want to just give a huge shout out to all the patrons who support us, who go above and beyond, and who you guys are currently in the middle of getting stuff from Duskblader. And are they getting Saints and Monks yet? No. Oh, you'll be getting Saints and Monks stuff today. You're gonna have a lot of fun with that. I think I'm gonna make that book because that's Monsoon Strong number 26. 26? Yeah. I'm gonna push it back by a few days because I'm gonna make the book longer. I've added some parts to it and I want to make it longer. So that's gonna be fun. So enjoy. What else do we have? Oh, new authors. We don't have any. Okay, we have plenty of new authors that exist in the ether out there. We don't have any new indie authors that we're aware of that are releasing anything today. But the mantra still stands. We support our indie authors. So if you have any authors that you've discovered or that you are currently enjoying or that you know are writing something and that will release it soon, don't forget to L3 us. Don't forget to let us know that writing a book or writing something and just drop it in the mouth for us. Good morning, Christine. That name seems so familiar. Morning. Okay, we're here. I get you the updates about what's happening. Yeah, I haven't seen any. I guess I'm gonna have to start posting some LP. I just haven't had time to read as much. Although I'm currently reading The Masked City, if I'm not mistaken, is the name of the book. I have a lot of books in my head, a lot of books that I'm reading. Yeah, The Masked City is part of the Invisible Library series by Genevieve. What's her name? Genevieve Cogman, I believe her name is. Genevieve Cogman. Okay. So The Masked City by Genevieve Cogman is what I'm currently reading. Really good story. Has a definite British feel to it. I don't know if she's an English writer, but it definitely has a British feel to the writing itself. The story is really good. So I'll L3 it today. There you go. There'll be an L3. And it says I have two outside cups with the Raven Crows. One is perfect tea and the other is packed away. But everyone needs an M&S cup. What is going on here? Everyone, if you're in the mob, you should have an M&S cup. Just letting you know. I have an M&S hat. Just letting you know. Dolly has an M&S shirt. What's your M&S shirt? Is it away? She has an M&S shirt. She has it with the really awesome logo, with the decorative M and the S are interlinked. That is one of my favorite logos that I designed. That one's awesome. That I helped design. I don't know if I completely designed that one, but I'm pretty sure I had input in that one. Okay. I'm gonna discuss this one thing only because I just want to get it out of the way. Cold Front, make sure you guys get your reviews in if you haven't yet. I know it's been a while. I haven't had a review post or comment in a long time because I usually just put a book out and then you guys review it, which is awesome. And it's taken a long time to get to that point. But Cold Front, because it's wide, doesn't have an art. And so you guys it kind of bypasses bypasses the mob, bypasses the art in a way. And so it doesn't get the kind of attention that all the other books get. The wide books don't get that kind of attention. So please do me a favor, when you get a chance, leave your review and let other people know to leave a review, please. I know it's happening because we were at 2 reviews and now we're at 5 reviews. Here's the logo to go to Cold Front. The logo. Here's the link. I'm still a little tired. I'm sorry. The post for the CWW when my brain was off was, it's better to trip on your feet than trip on your tongue, and I was tripping all over my tongue that morning. It was ridiculous. So that should be like a blooper video. The cool hats do come distressed. They don't. You know how long it takes? Well, it takes forever to get a hat to look like this. So, Dolly, I think, is answering your question. But yes, the hats come distressed. All my hats come distressed. Let's see. Do I have my other one? Yeah, I have another one. This is the old. This one I designed. This logo, which is really cool. This is the old Montague and Strong Detective Agency, and then, as you can see, it comes all distressed. I like this dress. It's like I used to have a pair of jeans like that when I was younger. It's awesome. YouTube is popping today, which is awesome. Dolly is letting you know you can leave a review on Google Play, Kobo, Apple Store, Barnes and Noble, BookBub, BingeBooks, and Goodreads. Wow, that's a lot of places, man. Even I didn't know it was that many places. So Cold Front, just leave a review in any one of these places that you get it, and it'll help out the book. The more reviews, apparently, the better, because it gives it social proof. So what are you guys up to? I'm going to tell you what I'm up to, and then we can discuss. I'm currently writing Dustblader and Saints and Monks. I'm going to pause Saints and Monks for like a day or two and really focus on finishing Dustblader, because Dustblader is a novella, and it's almost done. And Dustblader tried to pull a Montague and Strong. So as I was writing Cold Front, Dustblader snuck in and said, "You need to write me now." Well, no, let's not do this again. But Dustblader was really, really insistent. And I'm already at like 30,000. It's supposed to be a 30,000 length book. I think I'm at 28,000, and I'm only hitting the 3/4 mark. So it's looking like 35, maybe 40, which is like, it's not novella anymore. That's like almost novel. And so that's where I'm at. And I'm going to try and get that done and get it out of the way and just, finish it and then jump full steam ahead into Saints and Monks, which is also kind of why I'm pushing Saints and Monks down. But I also want to make Saints and Monks number 26 a little bigger, because this book, unlike the other 25 Monty and Strong books, this one is going to have a little more introspection for Simon, some more philosophy. It's going to be a little deeper, and it's actually kind of his coming of age book, in the sense of him acknowledging who and what he is and accepting it, stepping into it, and then learning, and then getting his behind kicked as that. So there are a lot of moving parts. Good morning, Wendy. Welcome. And so I have to kind of make all the wheels and the cogs fit the way they need to fit, so that it does what it needs to do. And it does what it needs to do. Jeez, I can't even speak today. Crazy. Okay. So yeah, so that's what's happening with the writing at the moment. It's today's the 6th. So I want to finish Dustblader by the 13th to the 15th, get it to you guys, get it out there, and then release it into the world, and just kind of move on and go into Saints and Monks, into the next Monty Strong. I think it's going to be an interesting story. I always think they're going to be okay, and then somewhere in the middle of the book, I'm like, this book is horrible. Why am I writing this? But that's every book. So if you're a writer and you ever hit that moment where you say, why, this is, what's the word one of my English teachers used to use, dreck. This is dreck. I can't believe they would use that. If you ever think, this is dreck, why am I writing this? This is horrible. Understand that that's a normal reaction to any writing that you will do. And in many cases, you will be right. It is dreck. It's horrible. Ugh. But that's what revisions are for. Okay? Revisions are for you to take a good story. As if you're in the art, you know what I'm going to say. You take a good story and you make it a great story. And that's what they're for. All right, I'm going to take this link off. You got to pull all these links up in the mob, like Chris said earlier. What did Ann say? That needs to be on my next shirt. Yeah, good morning, Ann. Welcome. Yes, this is an awesome shirt. I'm not going to stand up and show you everything, but I will raise it. So it's like imagination, 100%. Writer's block tolerance, 0. That's not true. Bravery, 100. Courage, 50. I have more bravery. I have more courage than that. What is this? Fearlessness, 50. I have more. Insanity, 120. That is true. Passion, 100. It's like the recommended daily allowances of all the stuff. Then there's like commitment, sweat, tears, blood, everything you need to write a story. Let's see. Jeez. Daily values may vary depending on internet access and caffeine intake. That's excellent. Okay. Where's a good place to start? I'm trying to help my dad with promo for his books. To start exactly what exactly, Christine? What do you want to start? Get the word out about his books? You're gonna have to speak to Dolly, I think, because she knows where's thick skin. I have to add that in my own shirt. Rhino skin. We call it rhino skin. And it's not somebody doesn't. This is an oversight. This must be a typo because you need. Let's have a heart to heart here. If you're gonna be a writer, right? You're gonna be a writer. You need rhino skin. TN. It's a trademark. Because as a writer, if you don't cultivate rhino first before everything else, if you don't cultivate rhino skin, you're done. Someone's gonna say one thing to you, they're gonna hurt your feelings, and there goes your writing. You've got to have rhino skin. So really, one-to-one, from me to you right here, rhino skin is one of the most important ingredients of a writer. Okay? Remember that. You heard it here first. All right, starting social media work for your dad's books. What would you say? A website? Hello? All right, so you definitely need a website. That's true. A Facebook page, like what we have. Yeah, Facebook, because Facebook has one of the largest audiences still. So definitely a Facebook page. And let's see. I would say Facebook. You can't do Twitter anymore because Twitter's kind of sunk. I hear Blue Sky is good, but I haven't tried it yet.
On the reader sites, the Goodreads and BookBooks, those are easier to set up and maintain.
Okay.
Like this,
Do you want to just answer this question for Christine? Because she's asking. And it's a good question. Yeah, just do it right now. Do it right now. Answer it. Just do it loud so like she can hear it. Okay.
Okay, so I'd say a website is definitely important. Social media, Facebook would be number one. If you had to pick out of all the sites, if you didn't want to have more than,
usually more than one is a lot to manage.
Is right.
Yeah.
The next one would be Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram is good.
A lot of people also find success with TikTok, which we haven't done. Yes, we're not.
You're not big on TikTok yet. Yeah. Because you're not gonna get me dancing.
And then doing a lot of different things like being present on the reader sites, like I said, Goodreads, BINGEBOOKS, BOOKBUB. There's allowing the readers to share you.
Oh yeah, that's important.
Because they create others to see you.
The word of mouth.
And looking, right, and then they're building their reading lists. They use it to track what they're reading.
What else?
Well, and then ads, but those
you can
not
ease into them.
To get started with those immediately. I think the most important would be having a reader group that posts in regularly.
Right.
And being present in other Facebook groups as well, where you can share about the book.
That let you share about the book. Because some Facebook groups are very reluctant to do that too. Yeah. Thank you, babe. I think that's a great answer. I hope you heard that, Christine. I can tell you from my experience, in addition to everything Dolly said, when I was first starting, right before Tomb Yards and Butterflies, so even before Tomb Yards and Butterflies existed, the book, I was still writing it. I created, with the assistance of Rick Gualtieri, Bill the Vampire, I sat down with Rick and I sat down with John Lodson, and I created the MoB, which is the Mages of Badassery. So it was you create a name group because you want to give your readers somewhere to belong. And so the readers of all the Mountain Strong stories, all the stories that I write, are part of the MoB family, right? Thought it was a great name. And you create a place, basically what you're creating is a community. You're creating a place where people can go. So create a room. Chris is already in the room, the Mages of Word Weavery, so you can definitely co-opt that room, take that room, make it your own if you need to. And that's a community, it's already made, and you can kind of use it if you need to, or create another one, Christine, that's unique to your dad's books and himself. And but yes, the website and Facebook and all the places that Dolly mentioned are really, really important to have. And you also have to be patient. What would be good? Oh, can we get that from Alessandra? We have it? We can say. Okay, so how long ago was that? 2 months ago? 3 months ago? During the summer, right? August? Yeah, and so this past August, I did a what is it? Seminar, a class? I did a presentation for Inkers Con, which is Alessandra Torre, and she runs a con. So I did a presentation on branding, which is basically answering your question, Christine. So if you're an author, a writer, and you need to you want to find out how to create your brand as an author, then reach out to Dolly, and we will email it to you. So let Dolly know, and we'll email you the presentation. It's just basically me telling you exactly what you need to do. Dolly presentation. I just did the blah blah blah, but Dolly did all the graphics and everything's amazing. And basically, it's just telling you about what you need to do to develop your brand as an author, and that's from years of experience, not only in being an author, but years of experience in the graphic design business, and I have a lot of years of experience in that. So if you're curious about how to create a brand, which is, I think, the title of the presentation, right? Author branding or branding as an author, then that's what you need to do. Just email PM Dolly, and she will email you the presentation. Then you can just look through that. What was it, 30 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes? It's an hour. And just watch it. And then watch it, take notes, and you can, you learn from that. I learned doing it, but I had known everything. I just hadn't put it in a cohesive whole, and so I had to record it. It was actually kind of nerve-wracking because I had to record it as if I were giving the presentation, and I had a moment there where I gave Dolly a look like monster, like but she made a great observation, and it was more me being like, how could I forget that? And I had to go back and re-record. So watch that presentation. It's on branding, and yeah. I'm glad you started, Kristen. Yeah, you'll get, if you watch that presentation, you'll get a lot of stuff to start with. You'll get a lot of notes and everything. Okay, so let's move on. I was discussing Cold Front. Don't forget the reviews. Saints and Monks is currently, so in the beginning, I can't really tell you anything about Saints and Monks. You already know where it started, because if you read Shieldbearer, you know where Saints and Monks begins. But I can't tell you much about the story itself because it's developing and I don't want to ruin it, and it's going to be really fun to write, and I just don't want to take away from that. What I can tell you is that it was a little rough in the beginning getting started, only because I had to situate the story in such a way that continued what was happening and led to what's going to happen without it feeling clunky. And it wasn't in New York City, because they're not in New York City. They're on Iron Fan Mountain right now. So it's kind of weird to they'll end up in New York City because they always end up in New York City. Things have to happen. But it just felt awkward in the beginning, but we're already past the awkward part. So it's going to be really fun. And you guys are getting, what chapter are you giving them? One? Just one. So you're getting chapter, if you're in Patreon, if you're a patron, well, everyone gets it, right? Because it's free. Yeah. Everyone gets it. So chapter 1 will be out on Patreon. Just make sure you join our Patreon. But even if you're free, you're gonna get chapter 1, which is awesome. Let's see, what else have we got? Oh, the Bureau. I have to get to the Bureau. Jeez. You'll have it before the end of the month. So the Bureau will be done, and you guys can have the adventures of Renk and Carl what ended up happening with them. They were on chapter 4, so I got to get to like whatever the last chapter is. You guys will get that. The Bureau's a lot of fun. Dustblader. Oh, I was discussing Dustblader. Okay, so Dustblader tried to hijack everything. I can't say try it. Dustblader basically hijacked everything, but it's such a fun story, and the Dustblader character, she is so much. If I could roll up Simon and Monty and Gray into one character, I think it would be the Dustblader. She's kind of just a lot of fun, and she has many different facets to her, and the fact that there's other kind of facets to her personality, that it's definitely something you want to read. Dawn, good morning, welcome. Good afternoon now, because it's 12:02. So good afternoon and welcome. Hello. So Dustblader has been a lot of fun. I want to really kind of finish it and get it out there. And the cover. Have you guys seen the cover for Dustblader? Wow. The Range Doctor Design did that one, and I was blown away. I told them, okay, this is what I need. I need a female that looks like this. Her eyes are like this. She's in this kind of background. The logo's like this. The logo is part of the branding. So when you see the presentation, you know what I mean. But the logo's like this. The color palette's like this. And make it happen. And they made it happen. They came back with some ideas that I was like, okay, not that kind of background, like that kind of creature in the background. We're not working with zombies or things like that. So we kind of went back and forth a few times. So it has a signature The Range Doctor Design cover, but this is its own story. And even though it's set in the Monty and Strong world, which is fun, I had thoughts about setting it in the M&S world, because for a lot of people, it's going to be like, again in the M&S world, this guy never leaves this place. You got to find a new neighborhood. But the reason I put it in the M&S world is because I wanted to show, sort of like what I did with Treadwell, where I was able to show a different dimension of the Monty and Strong world. The Dustblader corner of the M&S world is a completely different dimension that's actually going to intersect more with Monty and Strong. So I wonder, Chris, they are amazing at interpreting the ideas. I don't know if there's a writer over there, because could you imagine a better place to work if you're a writer? You have all the covers you ever need at DDD. If you worked at DDD, that would be fantastic. But that cover blew me away. And when I gave them the concept of what it needs to be, and they say, don't worry, we have so many positions for this model. These covers are going to be amazing. And if DDD is telling me the cover is going to be amazing, covers are going to be amazing. So I'm looking forward to the next stories that come from them, because I was showing Dolly the other day the Monty and Strong covers that I haven't sent her yet, because I usually send her the covers, one as storage and one because she uses them in the materials that she puts out for everyone at Patreon and the website and everything. So there's a whole block of covers I haven't sent her. And I was like, I have not sent you these covers. Have you seen these covers? These covers are amazing. And I'm telling her this. I sounded like Seinfeld for a little bit. And it was like, I've got to send her all these covers. And it's about, let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 covers that I haven't sent her. 8 groups. And it's a lot. That's a lot of art. But as I was going over them, I was just being slowly amazed by all these covers. It's incredible. Yeah, Chris, I'll tell you what happens to me when I give, we give them the brief, because that's the way the Range Doctor works. They get a brief and then they create the cover for you, and it has all the information. But when I get the cover back from them and it's exactly what I kind of had in my mind, it solidifies the story for me in a way that just talking about it doesn't. But seeing that imagery really sets tangents off, and the story starts to take on a life of its own. And it's amazing to see the cover and the story and how they align. And sometimes the description has to change because the story's changed a bit, but that cover is incredible. The cover is a momentum. It just lets the story start to grow and blossom. And that's what a good cover designer does. Same thing with Gene Malika. If you look at the Night Warden covers, I've always said it, and I always will say it. and Gene's gonna kill me because when I go back for book 4, you're gonna be like, "Oh, really?" So, but the covers that Gene has created with Sasha over at Gene Malika Studios, they're insane how good they are. When you see the next covers, you're gonna be like, oh, "Yeah, those covers are." There's a reason why he's considered a boutique cover designer. Yeah, and it's them. It's Monty and Simon, and I can't see Monty and Simon as anyone else in terms of in my mind's eye now. And looking at the covers, it's amazing. Yeah, I have your first cover sitting on my desk, Chris, and I see that cover and I go, yeah, the range is no joke. And all the elements that they put together, you're like, that's the story. It's right there. Look, it's in the cover. And all the covers I have with Monty, which is what's funny when I think it was Barbara, someone was putting up the Mads Mikkelsen ad in the MoB of his Zegna ad, and how he has the hair. I said he's got a little bit longer to go, but he's pretty much going to be a Montague soon with that hair and the suit. He's already in a Zegna suit, so now he's just got to let the hair grow a little bit more and hang out in more storms, and pretty soon he'll be a Montague. We'll call him Mads Montague, and that's it. And I didn't realize that Mads himself, he has a few siblings that also act. I didn't know this. This is recent. All right, let's continue. We have pre-orders for our next audiobook, Broken Magic. Yes, we're lagging. Broken Magic is book 18, and I'm writing book 26. There is a lag. I apologize. But they can go where? To the website for that? You can go to our website and pre-order the audiobook for Broken Magic. I know a few people are waiting for that book, and so it's out there. It's waiting for you, saying, "Come pick me up, pre-order me." That way you can hear. At some point, I think I want to listen to the audiobooks. I want to listen to all of them. Like I want to do like an audiobook marathon, a weekend of Monty and Strong. And here's where you can go to get the audiobook to pre-order. This is the shop. Please go there. All our audiobooks are wide, or I guess is it considered wide? Yeah. All our audiobooks are wide, so there you go. Wideness, and that's the link to go there. Yeah, Chris, I just when I think the range can't surprise me any longer, or when they can't shock me, or they surprise me. They really blow me away. Duskblader blew me away. I didn't expect it to be that good. It's amazing how I don't know how they do it, but they do it. Yes, and cohesion. So since I studied graphic design by trade and also by schooling, cohesion is one of those principles that you learn early on so that you don't have a dissonance or discord, you can have contrasting ideas if it's intentional and you're trying to direct the eye to a specific place in a piece of art, and you want the eye to be forced to go somewhere. And they do it. The range does that, but they do it subtly, and they do it in such a way that attracts your eye to a certain element because it's intentional, not because they don't know what they're doing. I was doing it early on in my graphic design studies because I didn't know what I was doing. And I started learning about cohesion and color palettes and Pantone is your friend and things like that. Welcome, Michelle. You're not late. You're right on time. You made it. That's the important thing. Chris says, I wish I could do audiobooks. I can listen to the old time radio shows, but audiobooks just don't work. It's interesting because that's just the way it is. Some of us, I'll tell you my experience with that. My experience with that was dictation. I tried to get into dictation because it meant I could write faster. And the only way I'm going to be able to do dictation is if my hands stop working, because I can't do dictation. And I didn't take the time to really train myself because I had my hands to type. But when I tried to do it, when I tried to speak and say comma, period, capital, whatever the software demanded, it was very difficult for me to get into the dictation mindset. And then I just wanted to say, I can do this faster if I just type. So the story didn't flow the same way. It was interesting. It's me telling the story, but it's not flowing the same way as if I were writing the story. So it was an interesting disconnect in my brain trying dictation. Let's see. Heather says audiobooks can fade into the background if you focus on. Yeah, you can lose the story. You really could. But when I listen to stories, like let's say the Monty Strong stories, because those are the only audiobooks we have at the moment. They're mostly Monty Strong. Yeah, we have Rule of Council too. But I listen to it like Chris listens to a radio show. I just sit there. I'll get the Youngest Valkyrie sometimes, and I'll just sit there, and I listen to it like it's the first time I've ever heard the story. Because in a way, it's the first time I've heard the story, auditorily. But I sit there like an old time radio show, just imagine the story. It's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start with T and B and C. Work my way through the books. Maybe I can catch up to book 18. Don says, "Oh, your audiobooks are very good." Yeah, Kevin, the narrator of the audiobooks, is fantastic. I always remember the challenge Dolly gave him of having Kevin do a female voice. Poor Kevin. I feel so bad for him. And he pulled it off. He knocked it out. Like, yeah, he did really well. So, yeah. What does Audrey say? I tried, but after playing an entire audiobook, I remembered nothing. See, this is why I don't do audiobooks as much. I have listened to audiobooks and I do retain the information, but I still prefer reading. I think this is the way I was taught as a person to take in stories or information is through reading. But you can get so much through listening, but it's just a matter, I think, of training. That's all. It's not easy. It's not better or worse. I think it's just training and getting used to it. Chris says, I used Study the Dragon dictation. That's the same one I used years ago. Even with training, it didn't work for me. Talking out loud. Yeah, okay, so here was my issue. Here is my issue. When I write with music. So I listen to my vocal tracks, and the music, I don't know how it works in my head, but the music shuts up my sensor. It doesn't let my sensor get a word in. It's like we're in a club, and the sensor's trying to have a conversation. Hey, that word over there doesn't really work. You need to change it. And I can't hear whatever the sensor's saying. I can just keep typing. With audiobooks, I can't have music playing because the music gets picked up by the dictation software. And so I can't even have audio in my head to listen to music and speak at the same time because that's not the way my brain functions. It's this weird kind of cross interference thing that doesn't let the dictation occur. And I do need the music to write, because the music for me, it's almost like a soundtrack to what I'm writing. And so I'm writing movies in my head. And if I'm writing a movie in my head, I need the soundtrack. You ever watch a movie without sound? It could be really interesting, but the sound is a dimension that transforms a movie. If you ever watch a film, watch your favorite film, turn off the sound, and you'll see how different it is. And then when you watch that same film with the music, the soundtrack, it completely transforms the emotion of the movie, right? When I write, it's the same thing. I have the soundtrack in my head, and I'm listening to it, and I'm writing these parts of the stories that just kind of gel and connect them, and it happens. But if I don't have the music, it's like it's a weird experience for me. I can do it, but it's a weird experience. Heather says, my big thing with dictation is it ate a lot of memory on my computers, and I guess it can be a little odd talking to them. Yeah, I don't talk to myself often, so I'm okay because I already know that I'm kind of crazy. But the talking to yourself as you're telling a story, you're almost acting out the story. And so for me, I'm not going to be doing that out loud. So it's just not going to happen. And so this is why I don't use dictation software. All right, let's get to the questions because we have a few of them today. And here we go. First off, I want to say thank you to all of you who leave questions because you guys are amazing. And I've always said it, and I will stand by it, that the questions, and all of you, feel free to add questions. If you think of questions throughout the week and you have questions that you want to ask, and they don't have to be pertaining to any specific thing or any specific story. Could be you have writing questions, author questions. Maybe you want to know more about the process. Whatever you want to ask, feel free to ask. If I can answer it, I will. So the first question set is by Audrey, who maintains her reigning championship status of Question Queen. Audrey Sienki asks, Orlando, is there a habit or something you need to do daily to make your day feel complete? Besides drink coffee. So if I'm looking over here, the questions are on the monitor over here. Coffee, training, spending time with Dolly, all those things help my day feel complete. Writing, of course. I'm always writing. Now, let me clarify that a bit. I'm not always writing like typing in front of the machine, typing, but in my head, there's always some aspect of some story going on. Always, always. There's always a part of my brain that's engaged in a story or an aspect of a story or untying some knotty problem of a story. Always. There's always something going on. And so I always have my phone and I have the notebook feature in my phone. I can just write up an answer quick or write an interaction quick, or there's snippets of conversations that I can just kind of like jot down really fast. So daily, that's always happening. So that makes my day feel complete. But I'll say every day. Is there anything that you see me do every day that makes my day feel complete? Train, workout, yeah. I'm always swinging the kettlebells or rowing, some kind of moving my body, yeah. All right, next question. Thank you, Audrey. That's a great question. Darling, are you an early, on time, or late person?
I'm an on-time person.
On time person. Here you go. I'm an all time person. So I move through time, back and forth, sideways, up, down. So yeah. You gotta speak to Sid about that. He knows more. Okay. Orlando, next question. What is something that surprised you about being a full-time author? I didn't think it was giving myself homework for the rest of my life. Somehow I thought I would just write stories and it would just happen. And then I realized how much research I needed to do, and that I basically gave myself homework for the rest of my life. And even to this day, I have so many tabs open on one of the pages. One of the screens. I have so many tabs open. Right now, I'm dealing with the sacred aspect of the number 108, and this makes no sense to you right now. When you read Saints and Monks, it will make all the sense in the world to you. But I have to understand it first before I can put it in the story. And 108 is a sacred number in so many ways, and it's coming into the story. Con is asking a question, saying, my coffee club wants to know, did Monty go through all the things needed to be a detective? Way before he met Simon, Monty had already undergone that kind of training. Because Monty's very old, so yes. The short answer is yes. The long answer is yes and plus, for sure. Wendy said, let me just read a quick before I get back to the next question. I talk to the animals around me, so that isn't completely me talking to. Yeah, but I talk to myself all the time. You know how many characters I have in my head, Wendy? It's scary. And the ones that are waiting in the wings to have their stories told. My position is that all writers, at some point, the walls between their stories and their characters gets thinner and thinner as time passes, and we slowly all just go crazy. And then we're just talking to our characters, and people think we've lost our minds. But what we're doing is just talking to our characters. Okay, Lizzie says, with film, I can hear it without seeing it and listening for the dialogue in the script. Yeah, that works too. If you could distinguish between the two, for sure. Yeah, but I think for me, being the film person that I was growing up, Lizzie, the music plays such an important part in the storytelling, and I think I've taken that and I've translated that to my writing, where the music plays such an important part to the storytelling. Like I was discussing the other day with, I think her name is Melissa, about Arcane. The story itself is fantastic, but the soundtrack, Arcane is a show that, if you've seen the Friday Post, it's a show that I've been watching with the youngest Valkyrie, and it was created by Riot Games, which is a video game company. But they did such a great job with this show that they're being considered a music company because of the music that they put in the show that does video games on the sides, because the music is phenomenal. The people that they had come in to do the music for the show, off the charts. That's how good it is. And so that's what it is. So the music is huge. Music is huge because it conveys emotion. And so when I'm writing and have certain emotions that I need to convey, yes, I can feel them. But if I have music that conveys that emotion as I'm writing it, it comes across even stronger in the story. Okay. Yeah, you have I have whole conversations with the Dust Later right now. I won't say her name because it's part of the story, so I don't want to ruin anything. But yeah, every character, Monty, Simon. My God, how many times have I wanted to smack Simon upside the head? I put a post up that says, "When your characters are going crazy and then you remember that they all live inside your head." That's me, regular on the regular. Next question from Anthony Hudson. He says, I just found out today that one of my other favorite authors, Jerry Boyd, I'm sorry I don't know who he is, but I'll have to look him up, passed away from a heart attack in his sleep. That's tragic. That's really sad. This is why I train so often. I hope this isn't a crass or poorly received question, but will M&S end when you pass on into the light, or will you rather someone take on the mantle of the author and continue your legacy? That's a really, really good question that I hadn't really given much thought to. I hope that by the time that time comes, that the story is mostly wrapped up. If the story is going to continue, it would be awesome if it could be one of my progeny, like one of the Valkyries or the Warrior. They decide to get the writing bug and continue the story, but I don't think you can. We've had this conversation before. It's really hard to continue another author's work because an author, a person, is the sum of their lived experiences. And so, what I would say a character is going to do is completely different from what someone else would say. It's like Simon would do X, Y, and Z. It's completely different from what someone else would say. Simon is going to do X, Y, and Z because it's the sum of my experiences as a person and as an author. So I think when I go on, I'm gonna do the Terry Pratchett and just say it's done because that's what he did. When Terry Pratchett, he had it in his last will and testament that everything that was unfinished when he passed away needed to be destroyed. And Rihanna did that. She destroyed everything that wasn't finished. No, it's not a downer. It's a realistic thing. That's why I'm writing as much as possible now, Anthony. So that while I'm here, you guys get a lot of stories, and there'll be a lot of stories to read, and that in itself will continue the legacy. I think that's it. Look at Terry. I'm still learning things about Terry Pratchett, Sir Terry Pratchett now, and he's been gone for a while. And okay, we're still in school. We're still studying Shakespeare, and Shakespeare wasn't difficult for his day. He was a writer for the masses, and so it all depends on the stories you create. Really, when it comes down to it, how much and now with the way technology is, your stories can really live forever. It just depends on writing good stories now that can be appreciated throughout time. That's the important thing. So it's not a downer at all. It's realistic. Wendy says here's well, we're gonna put all those links up in the mob, Wendy. It's awesome. Thank you. All right, Chris is saying, what is your favorite part of writing? And that's a great question. Thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate it because it's a thoughtful question. You guys always create these amazing questions, and I never read them before the mob, the Kaffeeklatsch, because I want it to be like spontaneous. All right, so Chris's question is, what is your favorite part of writing? I'll tell you what my favorite part of writing is. And this is going to sound so weird. And Dahlia knows this because she's experienced it firsthand. My favorite part of writing is going back and reading a story that I've written a while ago, right? But reading it and just getting lost in the story as if I didn't read it, as if I didn't write it, and just reading it and going, oh man, this is pretty good. And it's not like I'm patting myself on the back. It's like I'm really just enjoying the story. That's my favorite part of writing, that I could go back to a story that I wrote a few years ago and just read it. What did I do that recently with? I think I did that with one of the Night Warden books recently. I read the most recent Night Warden book. I read the whole book in one sitting. Honestly, I read really fast. But I was reading it and I just got into the story and I just kept reading it and I go, wow, this is really good. Whoa. And I'm able to read it as someone outside of the person who wrote it, just as a reader. I don't get to do that often. And so it's a real treat when I can. And that's my favorite part of writing, is being able to read the stories without having to write them. And it's a weird, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but it's being able to read the stories without having to worry about what comes next, without having to worry about writing the story, just enjoying the story, just enjoying it and have it complete and have it there. Because as a writer, you know, when you have a story, it's always kind of incomplete. You're writing the story, so you know, maybe you know what's coming, but it's still not there. It's still not present in front of you. It's still part of the page is still blank. But when you can hold the book, the complete book in your hand and just read it, that's the best part of writing. That you can hold your book, not necessarily because I read digital books, but to have the completed book, to have the done book and read it, that's the best part of writing. And you get lost in the story. Yeah, you don't think, okay, you're thinking, a part of your brain is like, there's no way you're going to get lost in this story because you wrote the story. How could you get lost in it? But there's another part of your brain that's like the eternal reader, I guess, and that eternal child that you always hold on to that wonder, which is so important. And then you start the story, you start reading it, you chuckle here, you smile there, you get surprised somewhere else, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of the story, and before you know it, you finish the story that you wrote, and that's an amazing thing. It's one of the best feelings ever. I gotta go. Also, those are all the questions. I want to say thank you to all of you who wrote questions because you guys are awesome. I really appreciate all the questions. Audrey, keep polishing that crown because your reign has gone unchallenged. And keep writing the questions, please. I appreciate each and every one of them, and they really do help the show. It makes the show better. And Anthony, don't worry about being a downer. We talk about everything here, so we're all adults. And if it's a sensitive subject, we do preface it by saying, this is a sensitive subject, and if you're triggered by something, we're going to be discussing X, Y, and Z. And if you're triggered, just be aware that this is where the conversation is going. So don't worry about it. It's not a downer. It's part of life. I've given it some thought, but I haven't given it that much thought or that in-depth thought. Let me go back a bit because people have been writing. Okay. I answered Don's Coffee Club question. Yeah. At the beach when I lived down the I made 108 steps and down. Yes, 108 is a big. Multiples of 9 are huge, Lizzie, in the monk world, especially in the Buddhist monks. Yeah. Came across a reel when this is Heather. Came across a reel when author found someone had put together a soundtrack for her book. Amen. Yeah, the music that you hear that was done by Will Musser are soundtracks to Mountain Strong. They're original soundtracks that we had done by Will, a professional musician, who has done music for shows and movies and stuff. So we were very lucky, fortunate to have him do that for us. Let's see. No such thing. Yeah. Thank you, Wendy, for that other place. That's fantastic. It's a BookBub's audio site, Chirp Books. We are aware of it. I know Dolly has mentioned it. Let's see. Lizzie says, after seeing the film, went straight out and bought the LP of Close Encounter. I still hear when you say Close Encounter, I still hear it in my head. So yeah. Don says, I laughed thinking what happened if Simon and Monty had been friends in the academy. Oh, poor Dex. Oh, that would be horrible for Dex. Yeah, so you should definitely write. It's awesome. I wholeheartedly agree that if anything can spur you to write, then please take it on and do so. Yes, it's fantastic. Yeah, just the fact that we say LPs dates us, Lizzie and Chris, because yeah, sensitive subject are hot dog sandwiches. I haven't considered that. It's meat between two pieces of bread. So I would say, by the definition, technically, yes, they are sandwiches. But see, I just heard no, they're not. So it's bound to be polarizing and raise some contention. It has to be two pieces of flat bread. Can't be rounded bread because then it wouldn't be bread anymore, right? What would it be? I don't know. You tell me. It has to be two pieces of flat bread. I'm not getting into this. If it's bread and there's meat in between, it's entering the sandwich category for me. Like, apparently, some of us are more discerning, and it has to be flat bread. And is it a special kind of meat? It has to be a special kind of meat. So I don't have any LPs anymore, but I had LPs when I was younger, and my mom had tons of LPs. I don't know where my LPs went. I think I moved off. But I think they just, as I went digitally, they just started disappearing. See, another sensitive subject: coffee, tea, soda, or cocoa. That's not even a discussion. Coffee. I don't drink soda. Dolly drinks tea, and I think we both drink cocoa. Although we had some cocoa recently that was just like pure chocolate. It was really good. It was just liquid chocolate. It was so rich. It was good. Wow, it was powerful. But if it's a bun rather than a bread, see, Wendy, that conversation, that question, you need to have with Dolly. Because for me, I'm not that discerning. Huh? Or with Anthony. Go have a conversation with Anthony. But if it's a bun rather than bread, you should start that conversation with Anthony. Because, yeah, no. For me, if it's bread and there's meat, I'm good. That's a sandwich. Coffee or water? Yeah, coffee or water. That's exactly what I have on my desk. Either coffee or water. Those are the two options. I don't really have anything else on my desk usually. And Dolly has tea. She likes tea, so she has more refined taste than I do. I'm closer to the caveman. She has fun, pinky up type. She has pinky up taste. Oh, I do iced tea on occasion. Yes, iced tea. But the iced tea that you're talking about, Michelle, is like the tea that's brewed and then refrigerated. Uh, Tea on my side of the country, on the East Coast, is like tea, like iced tea. It's different iced tea. Put it that way. Yeah. But yeah, coffee definitely. I mean, if you haven't gotten the impression that I like coffee after reading this many Monty and Strong books, that I've gone to the extent of getting permission from Death Wish to use Death Wish in the books. Like I have it in writing, and that they authorized me to use Death Wish. They should really sponsor me at this point. But that I can use Death Wish in the books because Death Wish Coffee gave me permission. If you haven't gotten your person that I like coffee, you're missing something. Right. Yeah. See, that's that. I know that tea. It's okay. I like that tea, but I don't have it too often out here. That's not an East Coast thing, Michelle. That's definitely a Southern thing for sure. Funky flavor coffee. Yeah. I don't do. I don't. The coffee that I have is the coffee that, if you're asleep, it pulls you up, punches you a few times, slaps you a few times, and says, "Okay, drink me now." That's the coffee. Yeah. So coffee, my version of coffee is the kind of coffee that comes with a warning label. Really, you need to be warned. It's important. Yeah, yeah. So Dolly would be the Monty version, and I would be the Simon in this scenario here. I'm Simon. She's Monty for sure. Will we ever see M&S babies? A de-aged Monty and Simon being babysat by Dex and the Morgan? No, I'm not writing any M&S babies. No, no. I'm not going back in time for them either. The only flashbacks we're gonna have in the M&S stories are like what we did with Simon in Requiem, and it's coming up again in Deadeye. Deadeye is a little bit more into Simon's past, and that's the only time we're gonna see younger versions of them. Yeah. So, but no M&S babies, no. Not unless we start a whole children's line of books. Then they can be the M&S babies. Heather says, couldn't find a part to use the pods in my coffee maker. Cut open a pod and transfer it. Yep, there you go. That's called being resourceful. Christmas says, our coffee wakes up. Yeah, my coffee mugs espresso. It's like espresso. Ooh, that's it. So yeah, the coffee that I drink is not fit for normal consumption. It really is scary. It doesn't have the effect that it had the first time I drank Death Wish. Wow, I didn't sleep for 2 days. I think I made it a little too strong that first time, and I made it at 6 o'clock at night, and I didn't sleep for the rest of the day. I didn't sleep for the whole night, and I didn't sleep for the next day, and I barely slept for the next night. That's how strong it was. And now I drink Death Wish, and it's like, what? I don't even feel it. So you definitely develop a tolerance, but I do feel when I drink something that's not Death Wish, I drink it and I go, what is this? No, 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 no. This is not acceptable. This is not coffee. And Dolly knows I need my Death Wish. Dolly knows. She doesn't even question it anymore. And she's not a big fan of the coffee smell. Huh? Yeah, coffee makes her sleepy. Can I any more argument for the fact that she's Monty? Any more? Coffee makes her sleepy. You imagine? So, and me, like Chris, I grew up because I'm Latin. I grew up when I was younger. They would put coffee in our bottles. Like I remember my mom putting coffee in bottles. You know, and we grew up drinking coffee in bottles. And she did that for like the longest time. Welcome, Rico. I'm sorry you had problems, but you're here, and that's what's key. So that might be like the echidna popping out a few months. No, we're not doing any of that. That side of the whole Greek craziness is staying there. Okay, I'll leave that to John Corwin with the monsters and Cthulhu and all that fun stuff. I'm not bringing those Greek monsters in. There are a bunch of them, but no. Yeah, it could be the updates for sure. Do we have anything? Oh, any of you have any questions you want to ask before we leave? Because we're about done. So for today. So if you have any questions, this is the time to ask. Right now, this moment. How about Simon having a nightmare about he and Monty being Dex and no, not even in jest, Audrey. Not even kidding around. Am I going down that road? Pass. Hard pass. Which stories?
The idea that they have, I think we should write it.
Yeah, why don't you look? You guys write it. You guys could do it. It's fan fiction. Write it. I think it'll be fun. Let's see. Poor Dolly, you walking caffeine, talking. Yeah, Monty or Simon. Or Dex yelling about deadlines. Poor Dolly. I would say poor Dolly, just to live with me, definitely. For sure. Do I buy my own ISBN numbers? I get my ISBN numbers. I don't get ISBNs. I get ASINs because they're Amazon numbers. If I had to get ISBN numbers, I would go to Bowker and I would get my own ISBN numbers. But because my books aren't, maybe it's something we need to look into later on, Dolly, because my books aren't really wide. They're all mostly on KU. I don't really need ISBN numbers.
If you publish through, for example, Draft Digital,
yeah,
you get a free ISBN. They give you a free ISBN when you publish, so you don't actually have to buy one. And when you publish on Google Play, you get a Google key for the book.
There you go.
So we haven't actually had to buy ISBNs.
Right. Because they can be pricey out here. Yeah. So I hope you got that answer, Lizzie. Some places give you free ISBN numbers. Amazon gives you a free ISBN number and an ASIN number. But I know I have free ISBN numbers for the print versions. And then other places just provide you their own proprietary codes. And yes, Chris, we can create a fan fiction place for sure. And everyone can go there and write fan M&S or whatever. Because there's so many different series now that you can just pick a series and write fan fiction, and it would be cool. You know me as an author, I don't have an issue with people writing fan fiction. The issue comes in when you try to write fan fiction, pass it off as your own writing, try to make a profit off of it. That's when things get hairy and it becomes a problem, you know? But if you're gonna write fan fiction, but it has to be in a designated place. The MoB is crowded enough with enough things because each day has a theme, with Wednesday being the most infamous because of the pun day. And so, you know, we don't need to bring that and add that and bring it into the MoB because that's going to add more stuff to the MoB. Let's keep the MoB the way it is because it's order within the chaos. So it's a kind of an interesting balance, which is good. But if we want to create a fan fiction place, for sure. I'm sure there are a lot of writers that want to write fan fiction stuff. And you never know. You have a story that takes off and make it your own and go, you know. It morphs away from Monty and Simon, and you know, from any of the other characters and becomes your own stuff. And it also gives you places to stretch your writing muscles. Right, the Stephanie Meyer approach to plagiarism. Basically, that's where Twilight came from. You know, she plagiarized. What did she plagiarize? No, Twilight was definitely fan fiction. She plagiarized something. What did she plagiarize? I don't know. I know it's Stephanie Meyer. What she wrote came from some.
Anthony knows.
Huh?
Anthony.
Anthony knows. Anthony, spill it. What does Stephanie Meyer plagiarize? Was it Twilight that came out of the plagiarism? What did she copy that became Twilight? Or was it something else that was copied from Twilight? I'm misremembering my details. Age. Bum, bum, bum. Age and plenty of information. Yeah, something connected but separate, Chris. That'll be fun. And I'll pop in every so often to read the amazingness. All right, guys. Oh, yeah, 50 Shades came out of Twilight. 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey, if I'm not mistaken, or Twilight came out. It's one of those two. They're connected. Which one is Stephanie Meyer write? Okay, so 50 Shades came out of Twilight, if I'm not mistaken. It was fan fiction of Twilight, and it became 50 Shades of Grey. Or Harry Potter. So a whole bunch of stuff in there. Guys, thank you again so much for being here. Let me get real close for a moment. Thank you for being here today. You guys are awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for just being such an amazing group. We'll be here in, let's see, the 20th. So right before Christmas, we'll be here in 2 weeks on the 20th. And then on the 3rd, it'll be the next year. Wow. It was really fun today, guys. I don't know what else to say. You guys are just incredible. You're amazing. That's why you're in the mob, because you're fantastic. And I appreciate you. Don't forget to go visit the CWW posts when you can. Leave your comments. I do read all the comments, and leave a like if you can, because it helps the algorithm as well. And yeah, if you have any questions, guys, for the question section, because we always have the question section each episode, don't forget, just put your question. Don't feel like I'm not gonna, like I can't answer it. If I don't know the answer, I will get you the answer. But just try to leave your questions in there. And don't worry, Anthony, you weren't a downer today. It wasn't crass, or it was a good question. It was a great question. And I appreciate you all. So guys, be kind, be unstoppable, and most importantly, you guys know what it is, be uncommon. Have a great weekend. I appreciate you all. Do we want to do the music? The music, 1 through 7, the first 10 people. We'll see you all in 2 weeks. I'll take off my scary face once we start getting up. So put a number 1 through 7. Richard, you made it in. Welcome and happy holidays. Let's go. I want to see numbers from 1 through 7. Put them in. The first one that gets the most out of the first 10. We still have 10 people. Oh, we got 19 people. Okay, let's go, people. Great show. Thank you all. You know why it's a great show? Because you guys are here. That's why it's a great show. Don't forget to like and share this show too on YouTube, because it helps the show. Yeah, Anthony, 12. Okay. Let's see. 6. I see 6. 6. 3 6 so far. How many numbers we got? 1, 2. I think we've already exceeded 10. Who's that dog at the bottom? Padding the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. What number is it? 6? Yeah, 6. Okay, I'm gonna put 6. Okay. Here we go. 6 it is. All right, I'm gonna take my scary face off. You guys have a great, wonderful weekend. Be safe. Stay warm if you're somewhere where it's cold. Stay cool if you're somewhere where it's too hot. And Lizzie, get some sleep. It's really early in the morning for you. Try and get some sleep. All right, here we go. I like this track because it reminds me of if we ever make a show, when we make a show of M&S, this is going to be one of the theme songs, like the opening or the closing, but it's got to be one of them. All right, take care, guys. Have a great day and a great week.